I guess my bubbles are not there. Zeus isn't even excited about it. It's hilarious.
I seek you in the lands. Your fire rages in my heart. If shadows fall on me, the world comes to rise with wings and body colored dancing leaves, and trees and trees sing through the trees. The darkness calls into my soul. The darkness calls into my soul. Stallion, guide and guide, riding through the autumn skies. I hear the day of charging comes. I hear the magic horn resound. Seeker of truth, nature's alchemist. Round with the great star born. He who wears the sword of power, riding on the winged and strong. I realize now I'm part of the chase. The hunter on the hunted. I have the wind untamed. I am the dreaming earth. Come to me in the golden fields, the sword of darkness now you wield. As the wheel begins another course, fill me with your primal force. Seek our truth, nature's alchemist. Round with the great star horns. He who wears the top of power, riding on the wind and storm. I seek you in the woodlands. Your fire rages in my heart. Make the child call thy name. Burn, burn, burn. The wild hunt and rise. The wild hunt and rise.
All right. Hello, guys. Good evening. This is High Priestess Jamila. Welcome to the chat. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button and thumbs up to get the positive energies flowing. I am so sorry that I am just now coming back. I've been sort of busy today. And a lot of people will say, well, you've got business, you're busy. What are you complaining about patriarchy for? So a lot of people will say that. Well, then what are you complaining for? You've got all this, you've got this success and your bills are paid and you've got food in your refrigerator and you've got air to breathe. Why do you care? Well, the reason why I care is because I am tired of the constant struggle with men. I am tired of the constant drama. And then men being so programmed against women that every once in a while they just have to attack to exert their power. And, you know, I can imagine that there have been women that have had worse cases of men in their life, and there's some people that are raised with the values of the only thing you should want in life is to get married and to have children. And that's it. That's the only thing you should want in life. And if you don't want that in life, then there's something wrong with you. And if your life isn't perfect because you're a woman, we'll give a pass to men because they're men. But if you're a woman and your life isn't perfect, we get to judge you simply because you are a woman. So the reason why I entitled this Patriarchy Ruined Everything is because it did. It gave men a license to be dickheads, is what it did, for a lack of better words. It gave them a license to discriminate against us and to say, and this is how you can tell that judgment is so harsh against the single mother, but it's not harsh against a single man. It's not. Not really. Single fathers don't feel it the way women do. They don't feel it because if they could feel it, or the ones that can feel it would not judge a woman. First of all, women's intuition is already too keen, and most women are empaths. So we have to feel this awful judgment that is very hurtful against us, especially because we have the ability to have babies. And so the Bible teaches them that they can discriminate against us and our children based upon a Bible. Well, your children are supposed to go and be the sacrifices anyway because they were born out of wedlock. And most of you women, spiritually, physically, and in your mind, body, and spirit, you have to say, touch a hair on their chinny chin chin, and we're going to have a problem. Because there have been a lot of children that have been sacrificed because of that. There have been a lot of children that have been harmed because of that. We've got patriarchal women running around here saying that I can attack your kid just because I don't like you. So if I don't like you, well, nobody likes your children either because they're little bastards. And patriarchy was solidified by religion and Christianity. It was. So if you want to call me the devil, That's a compliment to me. If you want to call me Satan, that's a compliment to me. It is. Because whoever made up that Bible, whoever wrote that into the Bible, had a hatred for women, had a jealousy for women, had vagina envy. Whatever male that wrote that Bible, because that Bible condemned every single woman. And Bette Midler said it, and they made her recant it. They made her take it back. I said I wouldn't have took it back. Because everything I say unapologetically. Many of us, it's a lot worse because, like I said, they cherry pick on who they're going to use these discriminatory practices towards because they want to pick and choose who they condemn and tear down spiritually. So if you are a woman that is all about the patriarchy and you're hiding behind a man like a coward, then it's okay for you to do that. Well, you know what? Spiritually, it's not okay for you to do that. Spiritually, it is not okay. Hey, how you doing, Cora? I didn't see your hello. Spiritually, it's not okay for them to do that. I had a man that told me that I should give up my career for him just so that he'd feel better. I think it depends on what family you come from. I think that according to some of the stories that I thought about throughout history with the women in my family, I realized that it gravely affected the women in my family in particular. My grandmother was very successful in her career, and then she also had her own business. And I don't remember anybody judge her for that. Yeah, and it was very, very evident that that is what he was trying to do. So it was a complete turn off to have a man tell me that I should give up my dreams just so that he can feel better about himself as a man. And they think, oh, well, you've got kids, go get on welfare and you don't have to worry about anything. You know, that's what they'll tell you. That's the attitude that they have. So when you have children, in particular in the Black community, Black people using, this discrimination against each other, using the Bible against each other, I believe that those people will see the gates of hell that they talk about. Because not only do they program themselves subconsciously to judge each other, but then again, they also program each other subconsciously that they'll go to hell for judging. So I want to live completely judge free. Judgment free. I do not want to live under a Black patriarchal system, a white patriarchal system, an Indian patriarchal system. I don't want to live under any of those patriarchal systems that says, and see, the Black one is the worst. It is. That Black patriarchal system is the worst because, they do not feel comfortable with you being successful. Most Black men don't. They don't. Especially the Americanized Black man. He does not feel comfortable with you being successful. Unless some of them feel very comfortable if you're successful under the patriarchal system. Did y'all know that? Having your own business. Oh, no, no, no. Did you go to college? Did you graduate college and get a good job where you were still underneath the footing of a man? Did you do that? And when you didn't do it, oh, well, it's unacceptable. We feel the right to try to tear this down whenever we want because how dare you try to be successful and you didn't even go along with our patriarchal education system. You didn't go along with it. In fact, guys, I'm a total rebel. I was a high school dropout. I think that that adds to the intrigue of my story, right? I dropped out of school when I was 16 years old. I'm not going to get into why, but I did. I got a job. I was working for the Internal Revenue Service. I worked for Popeye's Chicken, and then I went straight to the IRS after that. I got hired out there, making very good money for my age. I was only 16 years old. I'm sorry, I was 17. I didn't get my GED until a few years later. Okay. But other than that, yeah, I was a high school dropout. Doesn't mean that I want that for my children. No. But it could just be me. Yeah. A lot of people will say, oh, well, there's something wrong with you. Maybe it is. Maybe it is something wrong with me as far as the spirits around me because I had to drop out of school. My other, my children did not have to, but the constant patriarchal attacks led to that. Like, for example, I tried to enroll my son in the high school down the street and they would not let him enroll. He has no criminal record. He has nothing like that. But the man would not let him enroll. So not only that, do they force you to live outside the gates of society, then they think, oh, well, every now and then I'm going to step down on my low horse because they don't have a damn high horse to speak of. I'm going to step down from my low horse, and I'm going to come out the gates of society, and I am going to judge you, Jamila, because you are the epitome of patriarchal failure. Thank you. I will wear it like a badge of honor. I totally failed at the patriarchal system. I did. And I'm glad I did it. You know why? Because I get to live real life. I get to experience real everything, real emotions, real orgasms, real pleasure, real pain in life. I wouldn't give up none of it. I wouldn't, and no, I don't want to go back and say, well, if I could just go back and if I could just do it right, I would never carry that within my spirit because then I wouldn't be true to myself. I would never say, well, God, I won't lay down and die and I won't come back here and I want to be normal like everybody else. Why should I want to be normal and fit in to a bunch of confused people that are stressed out anyway? Okay. They don't want us to exceed them because patriarchy is ran off of competition. Competition is okay sometimes, but in my opinion, to live within that every single day, it produces stress in your life. Stress is not good for me. Stress is not good for anybody. So I don't think it was ever meant for me to fit into this society. I don't. It was never meant for me to fit into y'all rules, and I don't care. And let me explain something to you. When somebody taps in to your spirit and your soul rises from your root chakra, and it rises as a kundalini, there is no pain involved in that. Because somebody said, oh, she's in pain, she's sad because you're flirting with me. I would never allow a patriarchal man to harm me in that way. See, all of these energies can be transmuted. Even your enemy's intent, it can always be transmuted. You turn that energy and that intent into what will work for you. You let it be fire in your loins. That's what you have to do. So, as I was looking at this pathetic excuse for a man, and the reason why I call him a pathetic excuse for a man is because the only way he knows love is through self. He doesn't know how to love another person. Nobody will ever be hurt by, I'm sorry, a person would actually have to love you and then take that love away. No. So a lot of y'all that run around here and do things with an intent to try to hurt people, you look ridiculous. You do. And if you are a woman trying to inflict pain on another woman, well, you just might as well look at yourself as a failure. Period. Because this is what this woman's intent was. And I was absolutely disgusted by her behavior. And I'm going to tell you something, I'm not going to hold nothing in. But at this point, as far as with all of those people that I was beefing with, I don't have to practice my spirituality in that way. I don't even practice witchcraft like, I guess, a traditional Black person. I celebrate the solstices and the equinoxes. I celebrate those. And, this is what you're going to find over here. I've got my Mabon altar lit up right now downstairs, and communing with a lot of my pagan ancestors, a lot of my um, witchy ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Because these are the people that fought and survived our freedom. So I have nothing but the utmost respect for real witches, because back during the Crusades, they was killing us all. Anybody that wasn't willing to be a sheep. I still don't understand why people do not see the trick that lays down in that Bible. That's been laid down, the trickster that laid down that Bible. I still don't see how. It's like, okay, you be sheep and you be food and anybody else, because witches, not only did they practice witchcraft, but they farmed. They, they slaughtered their own animals. Yeah, they did. My great grandmother, who came to me yesterday, my great grandmother, her name is Vivian. She came to me, her spirit did. And she said, I've been trying to get through to you. The pictures that I've seen of her, I look just like her. But she was a witch from what she told me. And so these witches, they were communing with the earth, the heavens, nature, spirits. And I believe that it has only been because of witches why we even still have a earth. Now, of course, with the autumn equinox, it's symbolic of death. The earth is dying, but I still think that it's symbolic. Okay. It's symbolic of the death of summer and the new beginning of autumn. Okay. So I know I'm kind of all over the place with this. Patriarchy was solidified and pushed upon us via the Christian Crusades. Okay. I agree, Hecate, Witch Love. How you doing? Energy around us has been demonized on purpose to keep us weak. I agree. And, speaking of which, with the crusades and Christians killing pagans and taking over. In my opinion, it was somewhat alien. It really wasn't even normal. And yeah, I do believe that these aliens have moved on a long time ago, but they left this stupidity that created patriarchy, and now patriarchy ruins everything. Y'all understand that a lot of these men have been ruined by patriarchy, and a lot of these women have. Yeah, it did. It's still causing it. It causes division and suppression, oppression, stress, struggle. These men that are patriarchal, they don't understand that the job of the woman, whether or not she's a witch, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, that job is important. But they take the burden on and they wonder why they're so burdened. Hello, if it was always meant for you to be the sole breadwinner of the family, would you be so overburdened? No, you wouldn't. So a lot of these men, they don't want to accept the fact that the woman, even if she just lays up and does whatever, even they take it for granted. Even if you even okay, let's say that you're a man and you have a successful business and you earn in six figures per year, which is 100,000 or more. That's six figures, okay? So let's say that you're doing that and your woman don't have to work and she don't want to work and she's like, my job is to be your lover. And she rubs your feet and she takes care of your every need just because she wants to. That's not about being submissive. You do that because you love somebody. I'm tired of that saying submissive. Let's stop that. She's taking care of you as a woman because that's what she wants to do. That's what she feels in her nature. Even if these men have that, they still are taught through patriarchy to take it for granted. And you got to read the lies between the lies. They're still taught to take all of these wonderful blessings that this woman has brought to them for granted. They're also taught to take their work for granted. They're taught to take life for granted in general, and it makes no sense. So this is the reason why I'm going to tell y'all something. 80% of these men that are walking around this earth, I cannot understand them for the life of me. I just won't understand them. I won't mesh with them because of patriarchy. I believe that men and women at some point lived in paradise, but then it got lost. The only reminiscent or reminder of that paradise is sex. That's the only reminder of it, is when you have sex. Other than that, everything else is totally flipped upside down, inside out, and backwards. But we need everything else. We need that everything else. We need it all. Not just the sex. The sex is just probably 5 to 10 minutes. If he's good, maybe 10 or 15 minutes tops of this pleasurable moment. And this is our only reminder of it. And to be honest with you, a lot of them are not even connecting. They still haven't made the connection. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Oh, pretty patience, I don't blame you. I feel that, for me, I wanted to be worship on both sides because I just love men. I love the way they smell. I love their deep voices. I love everything about men, their bodies, the way they walk, the way they carry themselves. So I feel for me, that they must worship me. And then in turn, and I think that if you're both giving respect, because I don't even think it's about worship, I think it's just about mutual respect. Many of these men, because of patriarchy, they can't have mutual respect for women. And they're terribly confused. If y'all read, but I know a lot of y'all think, well, these men are just being buttholes and they're just doing this and doing that. No, they're confused. That's why they're online every day arguing back and forth, because they're caught up in a confusion. They're not happy. They're actually very, very sad. I think that what I stated and the whole reminder of me, because they'll even be in love with you. They'll be totally in love with you, but they'll try to force you to accept this way of life that isn't right for your spirit. No, we work together as a family. And whatever I need to do creatively, I do it. And I do it well. And if you have a problem with that, then you must go. And I think that when a man lays down with a woman, and I'm going to say this on a side note and move on to the next topic. When a man lays down with a woman and he takes all of her essence inside of him, and he can still try to maim, mangle, and decapitate her, even after that, I think it's something mentally, physically, and spiritually wrong with them. Because the misteaching of the spirit is what causes the mental. How dare you try to take away from a woman what means the most to her? It's almost like they get jealous because something else is more important. Well, yeah, I don't want to be sitting over here with no lights. Are you crazy? And then they'll say, well, I'm a man. And then those are supposed to be his primal instincts. But he is the one that invented. He's the, men are the one, and women too. It was our idea. I believe that women thought of everything and men just created it out of our thought. So that still makes it 50-50. I cannot deal with a man that is only there 20%. And it's not about, because a lot of women, they like, well, we don't want 50-50, Jamila. We want these men to go to work every day and just, and yeah, we all do. Absolutely. But we all have our own specific path when it comes to that. For example, as a woman, I'm an older woman. I don't feel right in my spirit living in this house. So when I'm in a better place, which will be very, very soon, I'm so excited about that. And I know that they don't like for me to talk about that, but that's too bad. When I'm more in my element, because I've always had nice things. I grew up that way. My grandmother always had nice things. Nice furniture, nice homes. If you go and look at my family home, my uncle, it's almost like a tourist site over there at my grandma's house. And he took her house. My uncle, she basically gave her oldest son her house because her other son had passed on. So he inherited it. And, he's been keeping up the property and everything. And so I grew up in that house. And everything about that house was perfect because my grandmother was perfect. Okay. So I'm not used to not having things. And see, the obsession is not just, well, you're a woman and then you have all those kids. You're supposed to live poor and then you're Black. So being that you're black just seals the deal. No, it don't. Who do you know? And so then that's when people start to try to take your essence and violate you. And that's okay because those people don't know you. Those people don't know your ancestors and they don't quite understand what can be in store for them for trying to steal your spiritual goodies. So, Diamond Duchess, that's the same way I am. I don't want to depend on nobody because some of these men are real evil and cruel. Y'all remember them stories about R. Kelly not letting those women eat? Shoot, if only back when R. Kelly was starving them women and locking them in their room, if they only could have called Uber Eats. Okay. So, it for me, it's like, are you serious right now? So those kind of men, they're very destructive. They actually have a deep-seated hatred for the woman. Hey, cut it out. Just because I let you do it for a few seconds doesn't mean I'm gonna, um, you know, let you keep doing it. My cat over here being so bad. Such a bad little kitty. Stop it. So, guys, hey. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. There's a kitten that is being bad. No, 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 Perseus. Go outside. Go. Go out there with your mother. Okay, guys, I'm back. It was y'all, and it was being a cat. I love my fur babies. They give me so much joy, and I try to be very patient with them because, they are absorbing, a lot of the negative, and they are, protecting, and so sometimes they may do, they may do things that might irritate us, especially when we're going through it. So yeah, so I feel so lucky to have these cats, and I'm actually giving away 4 cats. So anyway, so what I was saying to you guys is I feel that men and women could experience so much love, so much love between the two of them. But as long as we are caught up in patriarchy, it just will not happen. And yeah, I do think that this is something that can be connected to some of us women. It depends on your family, it depends on your bloodline. So, it does depend on that. And some of you guys, it's really, really heavy in your family to where you've got that oppression that's coming from men, but then you also have the dynamic of the toxic femininity. And so then that's when the dynamic of the jealousy between the women comes in. So this patriarchy will produce that jealousy almost, it's guaranteed, with that kind of dysfunction. Of course, there's going to be other dysfunctions that are going to happen. So I think that, yes, I was one of the people that did have this energy and this struggle in my bloodline. So a lot of men have it. And then also, there's a lot of you. And some of you, everything is perfect, the perfect, 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 good. I'm glad that everything is perfect for you. Can you please allow us that things aren't perfect to fix our situation? Is that okay? No, they don't want to, because there's a lot of people also in the system of patriarchy. I don't care what you say, men produced it. They did. They produced the energy of competition and people being able to say, I'm better than you. So that's why a lot of patriarchal women will go around saying, I'm a lot better than you. I'm better than you at everything. I'm a better woman. I'm better. And it's like, what? And you wasn't even thinking about that. I done had so many women compete with me. And I kept wondering, I said, well, where are these women coming from? Because I'm not competing with these women. That's not even in my spirit to compete with these women. I know that's right, Diamond Duchess. And you know what? Especially when they try to leave you high and dry. That's what's messed up when they try to leave you high and dry. That's still the system of patriarchy. It is. I'm going to tell you something. Every single man that I dealt with that did that to me, he was, and literally it wasn't real because he didn't have a pot to piss in. It wasn't even real. It wasn't even reality. So, if they don't have anything, they don't think that you should have anything. Mm-hmm. They are definitely control freaks. They are. And see, that kind of control is what keeps us from benefiting. Even them, it limits them. And I don't care what nobody says because it's right in our faces. While you're trying to limit me, you're limited as well. Your thought process is limited. The things that you've been doing on YouTube, limited. You cannot expound and expand upon that because it is in your mind and it is trapped. And a lot of these men are imprisoned by the patriarchal system. So it does hurt men as well. And there are women that teach that system of patriarchy, which is a system of hatred. Everything that was created under the umbrella of patriarchy, with an exception of a few things, but I think the whole system is flawed. Y'all got to remember that did y'all know that women just got the right to vote less than 50 years ago? When was that? Can somebody do me a favor and look up what was the year that women were given the right to vote? I'm not talking about black women because they always say, well, we're going to put all this struggle on you. Oh, okay, well, that's okay. I can handle it because I do have a very deep and direct connect with the cosmos. So yeah, let's do this then. Okay. That's why they put it on my front door. If any of you can find out what year it was that women were given the right to vote, so they wouldn't even let us vote under their patriarchal system. In fact, everything that I do, every single day goes against their system because they don't want no woman speaking about spirituality. They don't want you talking about it. They told us to sit down and shut up in the churches. Oh, we don't want to hear what you have to say, woman. We want to hear the man. Let's hear the men. And so you've got these men and they want to hear other men. Oh, I want to hear a man. And it's like, are you kidding me? Okay, thank you, winner, 1920. So I was right. What was that? That was It was almost 100 years ago. We're coming up on the anniversary of that thing. 1920 would be 100 years ago next year. No wonder they say we're gonna have a big event next year. And I'm gonna be doing a reading. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on these folk. I'm gonna be keeping an eye on these folk. And see, sometimes it's almost like they under some kind of mind control. I'm sitting here looking at them because a lot of times these men, they can turn on you too, even the ones that worship the ground that you walk on. They can turn on you because I believe that I believe that it's either a mind control machine or something. But a lot of these men are very keen to that, and they see it and they don't want their mind being hacked. They don't. They want to live within their paradise with a woman. Don't no man want to sit up there and say, I love other men. Okay, that's fine. And I love other women. I like to hear other women talk sometime because, to be honest with you, it's only women that are making sense. When you hear these men talk, it's like, really, really, sometimes when you hear them talk. Now, there are the exception. Yes, it is. It's very hard to find them on YouTube. If y'all know some men that's talking some good sense, let me know. But then they always seem to sneak in that, wave of patriarchal crap. You know what I want? Let's have a drink and a cigar or a cigarette, and let's talk as human beings. How about for a second you forget that I'm a woman and I forget that you're a man, and we actually connect to each other on a deeper level other than you're a woman. Yeah, I am a woman. Thank you, Jaborn Dark Light. Thank you. I just don't think now, as a woman, if I can see a man getting ready to start a war where people are going to get killed and it's going to create more harm than it does good, then I'm going to say, hey, I just don't think you should do that. If I see somebody getting ready to rape somebody or harm somebody, I'm going to say, hey, buddy, I don't think you should do that. But other than that, if you want to be a man and you want to be a tarot card reader, or you want to be a doctor or an engineer, or if you want to be a massage therapist or a professional healer where you can just lay hands on people, you just lay hands on people and heal them, I'm going to encourage you. I'm not going to say, no, you can't do that. You're a man. You're supposed to go and do this. I just don't get it. And it's just confusion. I don't think that we were supposed to continuously live within this confusion. I know Diamond Duchess says if they change their mindset, everyone, man and woman, can be power couples. Let's go. Exactly. Exactly. And I have a specific vision because I've always been a visionary. I have a specific vision on how my husband or my man is supposed to be and the page that he's supposed to be on. And he's definitely not Christian, and he's definitely not patriarchal. He's much more spiritual than that. He wants the same thing that I want. He wants me. He loves me. If you know that something makes me happy, you are and somebody tries to deny me of that, then you're going to stand there and you're going to say, no, you're not going to deny her of that. And a strong enough man is going to completely banish that energy away from you and allow you to proceed to do the work that God permitted you and created you to do, which is to sell crystals and meditation devices and hope and love and wonder and healing to people. Therapy. I consider myself to be a spiritual therapist. You know how they got the physical therapist? I consider myself a spiritual therapist. And you should share my vision of making these things mainstream. That is how I'm going to know that you're the man for me and that you are truly my twin flame, because I'm going to tell y'all, they can trick us. There is no way that you could ever be my twin flame when you don't share the same vision as me. Okay, and that's the spirits of the North. I know it seems like I smoke a lot of cigarettes, guys, but what I do is I put them out like halfway and then I relight them. You can't just have the fire element, which is the desire, the lust, the sex, the attraction. We have to have the same vision, which is the energies from the east, air. We have to have, look, that I'm telling y'all, those energies from the west are very important. Those are the emotional energies. It is the tantric energy emotionally that flows back and forth between a man and a woman. She hurting, he heals her. He hurts, she heals him. And you're constantly doing that. It's a constant, it just flows back and forth. You're hurting, he heals you. He's hurting, you heal him. Go back and forth. And then the energies of the north is where all of those energies come through completely, and you have the same vision. And then this is where that financial security is going to come from. Patriarchy has produced insecure people and financial insecurity. It's produced that. Because a lot of these men that are patriarchal, and they can't convince me. There have been women that had to fight for their right just to leave their husband. And this was just within the past 100 years. This is not something that happened thousands of years ago. And it used to didn't be that way. So if about 70 to 80% of men are ruined by the system of patriarchy, then how are you going to find a man? You're going to have to take somebody's man, probably. Y'all ever think about that? If most men are ruined by patriarchy, where is this man going to come from? Now, I'm going to tell y'all something that's scary. Spirit told me that these men was going to walk out of the sky. And that's what they told me. Last year when I did a ritual. What was that I did that? I think it was the Valentine's Day ritual or something I did this year. They said these men are going to come out of the sky, is what they said now. And now I know that a lot of y'all don't want to believe that, but that's the truth, because a lot of these men that are already here, it's like, who raised you and where did you get your value system from again? Oh, well, you know, the Bible. Okay. Well, it was nice knowing you. It was nice knowing you. And, you know, thank you for the interest, but I'm not interested. All that ignorant crap came out of that Bible. There's some stuff we can learn from the Bible, but this whole thing with women, you know, and the woman should be at her husband's feet, and she should, you know, bring hither children. And, you know, if God says to murder your children, which is starving them to death, you should do so. Amen. In God's name. No. No. So, you know, because at the same time, where, you know, these men are diminishing women, they always have to have that foundation of that Bible, of that grimoire. I think that the Bible is outdated personally. We are not living in those times, and we didn't already. I got you. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I got to follow up with somebody real quick. Okay, give me a second. So whenever you're a woman, hold on. Okay. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Okay, you said it's a book that's been written and rewritten throughout history 1,000 times plus. Yeah, and I think it's a mistake. I think that the woman's input is very important. Um, no, I don't think that. What did you just do? Hold on, y'all. This little bad cat. doing? What was that about, Mufasa? Huh? What was that about? Okay. Sorry, y'all. Let me put Mufasa out the room because I think that she needs to go to the bathroom. Are you happy? You purring? Okay, there you go, baby. All right, y'all. I'm back. So, trying to bring the woman down or either to bring her down to a lower position so that she can just be a whore or a concubine, it's so devastating to the female, to the divine feminine spirit. Because that gives her one element of herself and it doesn't allow her to be her full self. Even patriarchal women are hurting because of this. This is a disaster. I haven't even looked at that winner, but I will do some research on that. I'm so sick of these. I listen. I try not to judge people and their religion, but when I see this specific religion has done such a head job on most of these men, I've got to say something. And yeah, we have more than just a concubine to be, used in a sexual manner. We have the right to be, and this is what the empress is. The empress represents the full woman. Okay. Not just, and the hierophant can represent the full woman or the man. The empress can represent the man too. This is where all elements are being nurtured about that person. I went through a stint with a man that is more interested in hearing everything that another man said, but told me that he don't listen to me. He didn't want to hear nothing I had to say. But if that man goes live, ooh, everything he got to say. And they're comfortable with this. They have no problem with it. They don't see that that is a problem. Well, why, sir, don't you respect the mind of a woman? Why? Why don't you respect her spirit? Because I believe they've been taught that. They've been taught this, and some of them have been taught this very heavily. It's been drilled into their mindset. They can't help it, to the point where they're and these patriarchal men, y'all think they doing good? No, they're not. Because they continuously try to discredit the woman, and that is not the way it was supposed to be. It was never meant to be that way. We were all meant to have mutual respect for one another. If you tell people that it is okay to disrespect the woman just because she's a woman, then what are you teaching your children? And I think it's also a byproduct of probably the public education system too. I don't even think that they teach in some schools. They talk about civil rights, but they don't really talk. Do they really educate men? Have they done that the past 100 years of the discrimination against the woman? This is the pink elephant in the room that all of us refuse to deal with and acknowledge. This is the pink elephant in the room, y'all. And it'll be right there in our faces. And at the time, I feel like it's a demon, which is why we're doing a ritual. We will be doing a ritual on the new moon in Libra coming up on the 28th. to banish this demon. We don't want it. It represents oppression. It represents being in chains. It represents, non-liberation. Women should absolutely be liberated. And it doesn't matter what the laws that are written. You think that they spiritually follow the law? No. There can be a million laws written, but somebody can spiritually do something to you, and it's just like that law don't even exist. In fact, they can possibly make you whatever they want to make you just by using spirituality, just by using witchcraft. They can put those same feelings and emotions, on you, just via that. So it doesn't matter about the law. Who cares about that? No one cares about that. We're talking about spiritually. And there are spiritual laws. Of course, the spiritual law that is surrounding women doesn't agree with that, but we still have certain spiritual systems that are set up to harm women. And, I think that they benefit off of that, which doesn't make any sense because we're all a resource to each other. If everybody just paid it forward, they probably wouldn't need to keep cutting down the rainforest like they've been doing. It's just awful. And I wanted to stop. I have a zero tolerance for this in my personal life, period, at all. I have a zero tolerance for this, because when I saw that there was a male that was taking every opportunity that was given to him to try to destroy my career, I had to wake up. I did. I had to wake up from whatever sleep he put me under. And I said, buddy, no, you not. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. I'm not down for that. Okay. So, women have the right to manifest at their full ability. Stop interrupting them. Stop attacking them. Stop trying to use your penis to deter them. And then when you're trying to interfere in somebody's spiritual journey, that's really bad. You got to stop doing that. So these are all the things that we're going to be fighting against. I'm going to come back with more details about this ritual, but I can tell you that it is going to be protection. It must be something coming up. I feel like it's going to be an attack on the divine feminine on the 28th of September. These confused men that are zombies because you're not thinking. So I think that's why Spirit chose that day, because they got something cooked up and they got something planned universally and spiritually, because there are men out there. I mean, look at our president. He's very man. He's a Gemini. Yeah, the 28th is the new moon. My first intuition tells me that there's going to be protection, that will be shielded. There will be a shield that's going to go up for a lot of us. There's going to be a lot of energies that are going to be protecting, women and their children, because I think they got something planned and cooked up. And it'll probably manifest with a slew of hangouts. So pay attention, guys. All of the empty seaters that attack me, they are going to possibly be talking about me because I'm the divine mommy. I don't know what that was about that particular name that I gave myself that triggered these people. So that's probably why they decided to do this ritual. And I'm going to guarantee it that on the 28th, they're going to be talking about me, because I represent all women. especially if you have children, especially if you are a witch. Okay. Don't really matter whether or not you got nappy or straight roots. Y'all know that I've got white ancestors too. I've got different races of ancestors. So, I've got very coily, tightly coiled hair, but there's some areas and sections of my hair that is straight and it ain't heat damage. It just grows that way. So we're not just talking about black women. We're talking about all women. Okay. Yeah, women are wonderful. And, I think that when women submit to that patriarchal system, it takes away from the woman. And that's what they want to do. They want to take away from the woman for God knows what, probably to feed some demon that none of us can really understand. Um, and so I think that that's why they chose to do that. Now, I will be doing my regular, normal new moon work for people. This is going to be your cleanses. These are going to be, all sorts of things that you may need to clear out, or maybe you want to start new businesses during the new moon cycle. You'll want to do it during then, but this group ritual is something extra that, spirit said, hey, we're gonna do this because this will help. It'll help you if you participate, definitely, because I think that everybody has. I wish I could say that, I can pray for. I guess I could, say a prayer, or give a message of hope to all women, but I can't necessarily promise you that that's going to work, which is why we do rituals. We give offerings. We actually do the work to make that situation happen. Otherwise, if you're just you going by hope, it may not be enough. Sometimes hope isn't enough. Sometimes hope is just that spark of the divine. But you've got to cultivate it, and you've got to turn it into an actual physical aspect. You have to make it happen. So hope, saying, oh, well, I hope this. And then, you'll hope for it. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't going to come. So I can guarantee you it's only $15 for that particular ritual. No, you don't need a consultation for that one. And you can be male or female. So whoever wants to participate, you can add as many people that you want to that ritual, and so you can increase the quantity of what you want. But it's $15 per person, because it is very harmful. I've seen women sitting there under the curse of patriarchy, and they don't have no food in their refrigerator. They don't have decent shoes. Yeah, I wanted to make it very affordable. I did, and that's why I did that. And a lot of my group rituals are going to, be like that, because I think that we need to do this. Like, whenever my spirits tell me to do something, I do it. They were extremely concerned about male corrupted energy, and the corruption of the patriarchal system. It may have started off, which I don't think it ever did. I don't think it ever did. I don't think it ever started off with an intention to help. I think it seemed like it was trying to help, but then again, in reality, it wasn't. Because we don't need all of those systems to exist. All we need is to be taught basic respect for each other, be taught the ability to love and to respect each other. And then everything else we can do on our own. We didn't need all of that corruption and chaos that was brought up on by those patriarchal religions. So this is when men became the enemy, and witchcraft had to change a whole lot, during the 20th century. It had to change, and during the 18th, the 19th century, it had to change. The face of witchcraft had to change, and the face of the woman had to change. And yes, women have become more and more masculine throughout this whole thing because they had to. But I think that, the basis of that is that some of these women just look like their fathers. You know what I'm saying? So it had to change, and women had to start to defend themselves against these men. The person that was created to defend and protect and to go out and hunt while the woman did what she did, maybe she hunted with him. It's a possibility, yeah. I've went hunting before, and I couldn't believe it. It was so random. It was so random. It really was. When I got to tell y'all about my hunting experience. He was a very attractive man too. I got to tell y'all about this weird experience that I had hunting. But this was back in Kansas City, but and we had to start to defend ourselves, and then all of a sudden, hell, half of our energy is defending ourselves against these crazy patriarchal zombie men. It's like, where did you come from? And yeah, I do believe in time travel. And I do want to talk about those things, but see, they want to keep us distracted just enough so we can't talk about those things. They don't want me to talk about astral travel. They don't want me to talk about time travel. They want to keep that under wraps, these entities and these demons and spirits that are traveling through time and living and existing and probably even possessing some of these men and their fathers. And you can tell when somebody has been possessed. You've been told many times people can't be taught to love. I think that I agree with you on that, but I think that somebody's upbringing, if they didn't get that original love from their mother or from somebody, that it can be more difficult. Like it's almost like, the situation gets closed off. So for example, if your mother couldn't show you love, or your father, maybe your uncle did, maybe your aunt did, maybe your grandmother did. So I do think that the way we teach love is by loving. Now, a grown person that's in their 30s and 40s, if you still like that, because, for some reason it came to me that if a person is the same way past the age of 25, that it's hard for them to change. But I don't really agree with that. But I think that the basis of a person at the age of 25, you're in danger of being that way for the rest of your life. And if y'all notice, there was certain events that happened at the age of 25. When you think back and when you look back, those traumas and those events happened that did change you forever. And if you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, you were not able to expand your consciousness from there. So, this is where, especially the work that I do, is very important, and I'll never give it up. I'll never give it up, because what I do is I take that hope from the universe and I turn it. I use it. See, hope is only good if you use it and apply it to what you know. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. One of the missing elements that a lot of people are missing in their business is basic appreciation. This is what Maybon is about. It's about appreciating what it is that you have and appreciating people. So, the fact that I treat my clients like royalty, that is the reason why I keep my old clients coming back and I get new ones, because I appreciate. People that have a lack of appreciation, they don't manifest much. They take everything and everybody for granted. So, and you've got to be very, you got to be very careful with people like that, because those negative energies will rub off on you to where, according to the basic law of attraction, you're going to be negatively impacted by people like that. And, I don't mean to insult by calling people zombies, but you got to wake up, because a lot of people are asleep. And, a lot of these people that are asleep, we want them to wake up, but they've got to wake up in their own time. And by the time they done violated your trust, the only thing they can do is learn the lesson. Because I believe in this. Fine, you learned the lesson, but I don't think that I can give you my trust again. I'm glad that you learned the lesson that our relationship brought to you, but can I actually trust you again? I think that people need to think about that. So sometimes when that water goes under that bridge that person done told you to jump off of, because if I'm not mistaken, he told me to jump off of a bridge. Because there's that hatred and that negativity and that insecurity and that male super ego, you know? And yeah, I was really able to see past that, because I could see what that person was going through. But then when you start to tell me that my dreams, you plan to stomp on them, then we got a problem. Don't you ever ask me to give up my aspirations for you, because this is my divine purpose. You asking somebody to give up their divine purpose? I have people that come to me all the time and they say, Jamila, what is my purpose? What is my purpose here? So you want me to give up something that literally God and the goddess and my spirit guides have forced me into? They didn't force me, but they let me know, man. They, with the whole dropping out of high school and, working, and then, having continuous problems on the job, and it took baby steps. It did. It took me 30 something years to even get it. So I was disconnected as well. And I couldn't really hear or pick up on exactly what they were telling me. Otherwise, I would have been a witch in my teens. I would have started my business when I was a teenager. And because of patriarchy, um, I can't really at this moment be the proper feminine influence over my daughters. And I'm very upset about that, because they should be learning magic. They should be. And instead, they're uninterested in it because probably their father or some other male figure told them to be afraid of it. But it's gonna come back. It's gonna creep up on them. I'm telling you, it hits you. Okay, when your calling is magic, when your calling is to be a spiritualist or a shaman, it hits you very hard. And and especially when you have, it is. And so for me, when it comes to this world, I have faith in, and I know that me and my twin flame or soulmate or husband or whatever you want to call it can create this paradise, which eventually I want to turn it into a resort with a spa. If we can create that paradise within our home and within our, okay, at first we got to create that paradise within each other. Then we have to create that within our home, and then we can expand. So not only do you have to share my vision, but eventually you have to understand that we're going to have a resort out in nature where people can come and they can get spiritual cleanses. We'll have teepees. And I'm not going to tell y'all my whole design, but I would love for people to create something like that. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to create it. We have to have that same vision. So we're going to expand upon that. And that is a great vision to have. I don't care what nobody says. It's not even about being a millionaire. It's about changing the world through positive energy. You see what I'm saying? And not through war and anger and strife. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that, Sarumi. Hello, how are you? So, for me, and there are a lot of men that would not dare share that vision. They wanted to be a jungle out there. But I think that everybody has the right to create their own little piece of heaven on this earth. They have the right to do that. And they will. So if you are not a divine masculine that shares that vision, then you don't have a place in my life and you'll be banned. Okay. Well, that's good. I could tell that a lot of people were having a bad day yesterday. They went to church. Yesterday was Sunday. So that's why it was very important to and Maybon is still going on. I still have the candles lit down there. It was very important for you to. It was probably got something to do with that equinox, and then you know these men that are out of their element at the church. So many of them went to church, and they were all scared. And so if all our men are scared, then you got to make sure. Did you put up your protection and everything? Did you put it up yesterday, Sarumi? You got to put that protection up. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you worked that out. Um, I still feel as though yesterday protection was very important, in particular for women like myself, because, you know, um, they want to beat you down. A lot of these patriarchal men, they want to beat you down. They want to destroy your vision just because they didn't have it. All of it is based in jealousy. They know that my ideas, which I will realize, okay, they know that a lot of my ideas are nice, but they want to do it themselves. So, you know how a lot of people say, well, don't tell people your ideas and da 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 da. Well, my whole thing about it is that what difference does it make? Everything will fall into place anyway. And I'm here to tell you that you men out here that practice patriarchy, y'all gonna be in for a world of hurt because y'all gonna start getting rejected. No woman wants that in her life. Now, if you're a man that takes care of your woman and you do what you got to do, and whatever you do in your bedroom is your business, ain't it? Whatever you do in your household is your business. But when it comes to Tarot Queen Jamila and this Pagan Tarot Craft channel, you're going to have to accept that it exists. No, tarot card readings are not creating chaos for you. Your religion and your patriarchal foolishness is what is creating that chaos in your mind. That's what's creating it. Tarot card readings ain't hurting you. It's the fact that you look at me doing it and you're already pre-positioned and pre-taught to hate witches and anybody that tells the future. Why do you think they put that part in there? Because maybe if you would have listened to a seer and it doesn't, okay, listen, when it comes to the Bible and when it comes to these unstable men, it doesn't even take it didn't take a seer to see that that was going to end in disaster. Did it not? Did it take an actual seer or a fortune teller to tell you that patriarchy and Christianity was going to bring you suffering? All we got to do is read the Bible and read your language and listen to what you're saying. To be honest with you, we didn't even need God to tell us to not kill or steal. We didn't need that. We didn't need the 10 Commandments to tell us that those things were wrong. We didn't need that. These are things that were already taught to us. But then it told you to not do those commandments, but then it told you to do those commandments. And then they'll say, well, you got to be in the Holy Spirit to understand. Okay. I have a spiritual and a divine and a constitutional right to practice my spiritual beliefs. And those spiritual beliefs are not hurting you. It's just in your mind that it's hurting you. What hurts you is that you can see somebody doing something that they enjoy doing. You can see somebody that has freedom and you hate them for it. Let's keep it real. So we will be smashing the patriarchy. The link to my website is below. Go to rituals and you'll see it. It'll be on the 5th page, probably on the 4th page now because people have been purchasing them. So you guys can go to the website. No consultation is needed. But you can do that and then, we'll get everything set up. And I'm going to order the supplies tonight. Thank you to the goddess. We already got that taken care of. Okay. For some reason, it's adding shipping. So I got to get the computer because the phone app doesn't allow you to adjust the shipping. I got to fix that on a lot of the things that I added from my phone to the website. But, we'll order all of the stuff that we need, which is definitely going to be a big ritual. Spirit is going to reveal to me what the ritual is, but it is going to be a big ritual because this is a big problem. Because what it leads to is women being at a disadvantage, children being at a disadvantage, and they're all crying out for help. So the universe is hearing you. Okay. So I'm going to wrap this up, you guys. Love and light and peace and blessings. Happy Maybon to you guys. Also, the new moon is coming up. I am accepting clients for the new moon as well. Okay. So if you guys want, work done, if you need work, if you need cleanses, generational hex removers, hex removals, reversals, protection, love work, money work. Money spells are particularly potent during the new moon. People that really, to be honest with you, money spells are actually more potent during the new moon than the full moon. Okay, so if you guys want your money stuff, you can and see that's how you can tell because the new moon will come up and it'll shift. And then, you know what I'm saying? So the new moon is particularly powerful for manifestation as well. The full moon can be awesome for removing blockages, but so can the new moon. So you guys can contact me if you guys are interested in getting work done. The link to my website is below. I do provide authentic spiritual work and spells that work. Okay, so you guys can reach me for that. You too. Have a good evening to you guys. And namaste to you all. Okay, bye-bye.